What is going on, guys? Winter Kills here, bringing you another update of Photon Galaxy here for the month of June. A bit of a different build this time around. It's a 44 card build. I've been playing a lot of my decks at 44 cards recently. Not sure why. They've just been playing a little bit better and just allowing me to play a bit more cards in the main deck too, which is really nice. This build is a bit more competitive, I would say. Added in a little bit of hand trap. A little bit of meta stuff. I don't really know how to describe it, but we're gonna get started here momentarily. Just want to give you guys a quick reminder to check out Imperium Duelist, providing all the awesome sleeves and playmats you guys see here on the channel. If you're interested in picking up any of that stuff, check them out down in the description below. You can use that code WinterKills10 off to save 10% off on future purchases. Helps you guys save a little bit of money and helps support me in the process, so it's a win-win if you ask me. So yeah, with that being said, we'll go ahead and get started right away. Of course, for this list, still playing the 3 Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon. Most important card in the deck, obviously. A lot of effects revolve around it. Same thing with Galaxy Knight. I've seen builds that run only 2 of these, but I'm running a 44 card build. I'm also playing Pot of Desires in here, which I know a lot of people don't like playing, and I still don't understand why. Pot of Desires has just been so fantastic in here for me. I know it is a sort of a luck-based card with what you would banish, but you know, mathematically, the odds are sort of in your favor because of how many 3-ofs that we play. But Galaxy Knight, fantastic card. One of the cards you can't hurt seeing in your opening hand, especially if you already have good combo pieces to work with it. Same thing with Galaxy Brave. Galaxy Brave is a card that I've seen people run at all sorts of numbers. I've seen people run it at 1, 2. I've seen some people run it at 3. I like this card at 3 simply because it helps the deck resolve some of its best cards. And what I mean by that, a lot of your best cards require things to already be on your field. Photon Galaxy monsters on your field already. Things like Photon Vanisher, things like Photon Orbital, and things like Galaxy Knight. So they require things to already be on your field, and Galaxy Brave is one of those cards that can get itself to the field by revealing a Photon monster. Then it sort of copies the level, and it can also copy the attack of a Photon or Galaxy monster in the graveyard, copy the attack and defense, which is really nice. So you can just use this and reveal Photon Vanisher, summon this, and then summon Vanisher. Not only do you have 2 level 4s on the field to either make a rank 4 play if you need to, but you're just resolving your Vanisher. It's allowing you to resolve your Vanisher, which is really nice. So I like this card at 3. Also a trade-in target as well. 3 Galaxy Soldier. Obviously one of the best searchers in the deck for Galaxy monsters. Can search itself, can search Soldier, or can search Knight, can search Galaxy Eyes. Then we have 3 copies of Photon Orbital. This can be equipped to a Photon or Galaxy monster and then sent to the graveyard as the equip to search either a Photon or Galaxy monster. So one of the best searchers in the deck, but yet again requires something to already be on the field. 3 Photon Vanisher. You can special summon this card from your hand while you control a Photon or Galaxy monster. Then it adds a copy of Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon from your deck to your hand. So this can fuel your Galaxy Soldier plays. So very strong card. One of the better searchers in the deck. So definitely a 3-of in my opinion. 2 copies of Galaxy Wizard. This card, it is a good normal summon. It's a good backup normal summon when you don't have a Knight play to make, because you can normal summon it. It can change its level to 8, making it a good expedition target to get Soldier or a Galaxy Eye out of the deck. Be able to either search or make a rank 8 play. It can also tribute itself to add a Galaxy card from deck to hand as well. So allows you to search certain spells out of the deck or monsters if you need them for whatever given play you need to make. Then 1 copy of Photon Advancer and 1 copy of Photon Thrasher. Photon Thrasher and Advancer are niche cards, hence why I'm only playing them at 1. Thrasher is a great card to open up turn 1 with Advancer or Vanisher. Advancer works really well mid-combo to make rank 4s or link plays, so they both have their ups and downs. One is better at the start of your turn, one is better sort of mid-combo or mid-game, because Thrasher can of course only be special summoned while you control no monsters. And Advancer can attack while you control monsters as well, and he also gains 1,000 attack while you control a Photon monster, so he can be a beater if he needs to be. Then for the last 3 monsters here, 3 copies of Effect Valor. If you're going to play hand traps in this deck, please play light hand traps. So if you do draw it, they can be used as discard fodder if need be for your Galaxy Soldier, because resolving your Galaxy Soldier is very, very important. And just be able to get that search of a Galaxy monster for Knight or for Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon. Very, very important. And if I have a card that's in my hand that's not a light monster and I can't resolve it because of that reason, it's going to be pretty bad. So if I can, use a hand trap as a hand trap, or in some cases I can use it as a discard fodder. So I think either Valor or Ogre can work really, really well for hand trap options in this deck. So that is it for the monsters. Quite a few monsters there. Now on to the spells. We have 3 copies of Trade-In. We're playing 9 level 8 targets. A lot of them are very, very searchable. So it's not surprising to be able to resolve 1 to 2 Trade-In a turn if you do open to the card, because I always seem to draw into my Trade-In off my Trade-In. But luckily, I usually draw another level 8 with it, or at least another card to search another level 8 to resolve it. This allows you to deck thin and get cards in your grave like Galaxy Eyes, which are very helpful in the grave. Speaking of grave, 3 Called by the Grave, a card I wasn't playing in previous builds, but definitely want to play it now going forward. Unfortunately, it can't stop impermanence, but it can stop all other things that hinder your plays, so I think playing it is fine. At 3 copies of Photon Sanctuary. This card is just crack. It's so good. It's a 1-card Soul Flare. Late game with an already established field with something like a Galaxy Knight engraved. It's a 1-card link to in rank 8. Use the 2 tokens, go into Soul Flare. Soul Flare adds back Knight, normal Knight, bring back Galaxy Eyes, and make a rank 8. There you go, all off of 1 card. And it's also searchable off of number 90, so it's very, very good to have in the deck. At 3, doesn't hurt seeing this card. It's not a hard once per turn either, although one thing to take into account, once you play this card, you are locked into light monsters for the rest of the turn, which doesn't really hurt us because basically 99% of this deck is light monsters. 3 copies of Galaxy Expedition. Again, lots of 3-ofs here because we are playing Desires, and this is a very, very good extender turn 1 to see, so seeing this in your opening hand definitely doesn't hurt. Even if you open 2, it's just like, so long as you have 2 or 3 good cards in your hand, the Expedition is going to make it worthwhile just to be able to extend it and make a better board. That triple threat board, classic board you want to make. Then 2 Pot of Desires, more draw power because 3 Trade-In often isn't enough. And sometimes you'll see this and no Trade-In. This will draw you into Trade-In, draw into more cards, and all of a sudden your hand is completely fixed and you have a really good, good combo pieces to work with. I love Desires in here. I would recommend people try it. I know a lot of people don't play this card in here. I don't know why. It's just so good. People tell me I should cut it, but it's just helped me out way too many times for me to cut it. And obviously it can't have negative side effects, but that's just RNG at that point at the end of the day, much like a lot of this card game is anyways. So 2 Desires, 1 Galaxy Zero, 1 Trance, and 1 Reinforcement of the Army. I decided to drop Trance down to 2 finally. I've seen people play this card as much as 3, which is just insane to me, just because it's a hard once per turn. It requires a certain card in your graveyard, which I find a lot of the times you're only gonna ever be able to properly set this up very rarely in a turn, just because that 1 Photon monster you have in your grave will be revived with Knight, ideally, and then you really won't have any other Photon monsters in grave. And if you do, it's Photon Vanisher, which can't be used to be summoned off this card at the same turn that you summon him because of the way he's worded. I would just rather search this card off of number 90 for a solid comeback play and play it at 1. Same thing with 0. Could you play Monster Reborn instead of 0? Yes, you could. I just like the fact that this is searchable. Yeah, that's really the only reason why. Then we have the traps, still playing, not playing 3 this time around, but playing 2. Yeah, playing 2 Tachyon Transmigration. It does require a setup. I took this deck to a tournament a few weeks ago, and of course I bricked with this card. I'd opened 2 the one game, and I think another game after that. Just really unlucky. So I decided to trim it down to 2, just sort of decrease the odds of that happening. It's only live if you get a Galaxy Eyes monster on board, and in your really worst hands, this card will make those hands worse. So you just want to sort of play, I think 2 is a fine number. You could play 3, I'm opting for 2 this time around in this build. So 44 card build, like I said. That is it for the main deck. We'll go into the extra deck now, starting with double number 90. The best rank 8 for the deck, 2 level 8s. It has a Photon monster as material, can't be destroyed by card effects. During your opponent's turn, you can search your deck for a Photon or Galaxy card, either add it to your hand or attach it to as material, and it can also negate a monster effect. So this card does a whole lot for us. 1 number 38, 1 Galaxy Eye Cypher Dragon for basically snatch stealing monsters and overlaying with them, especially if it's an Ixies monster we're taking. 1 full armor Photon Dragon, 1 Cypher Blade, basically the destruction package. Summon this, overlay this on top, detach to pop a card. Summon this, overlay on top, detach to pop a card. And I usually like using Cypher Dragon as basically the primary go-to Ixies to start, the double pop chain, if you will, because Cypher Blade, when it's destroyed, if it's destroyed while this is in the grave, you have the opportunity to revive this back, which a lot of people don't realize and miss out on because they end up overlaying full armor or Cypher Blade over something else that isn't Cypher Dragon, and they miss out on being able to revive this card for free if this card does get destroyed, which does happen quite a few times, because oftentimes you'll leave this card on the field because you can't Ixies change over top of it anymore at that point. Or I guess you could, just overlay into a Soul Flare if your setup is really, really good and you have a normal summon that turn. But I think just, having the opportunity to either use Cypher for that Snatch Steal effect or to be able to use them in combination as overlay fodder for Cypher Blade and full armor, and also take advantage of that Reborn effect is really nice. Then 107 and 162. Basic skill drain, get over any other card in the game. This card gains attack equal to all the ranks of all Ixies monsters on the field times 200. So just counting itself, it's going to gain 1600 attack, putting up to 5600. This with the number 90, goes even further up from there. And that is it for all the rank 8s that we're playing here. Moving on to the other Ixies monsters, 1 Nova, 1 Infinity. This is still really scary to make with Soul Flare because Mega Fleet Dragon exists, and it does suck to have, lose 2 of your interruptions just to 1 fusion card, but I think the positives of this card outweigh the risks of that happening. So I'm still definitely going to play the Infinity. 1 Starleash Photon Blast Dragon, probably the best rank 4 for the archetype. Yes, you could play Starleash Lord Galaxian. There are some combos with that card, but I don't really play my deck too rank 4 oriented. I think, going for the rank 8s and the rank 5 plays are often more superior. Although there are some really solid plays you can make with Starleash Photon Blast Dragon, Orbital, and number 90. Because what this card does is it protects all monsters you control with 2000 or more attack from targeting or destruction by card effect. Also has the ability to detach and summon a Galaxy-Eyes monster that is either banished or in your grave. So it can summon Galaxy-Eyes Photon Dragon, not just any Galaxy-Eyes monster, which is nice. So it gives a little bit of a stall, a little bit of disruption during your opponent's turn, and has the ability to protect everything on the field. It only has 1800 attack, but that's why equipping Orbital to it is so important, because Orbital gives 500 attack to whatever it is equipped to, and also makes it so that card can't be destroyed by battle. So anytime you can set this up with an Orbital and number 90, or Soul Flare and a number 90, definitely a good opportunity to do so, because it will protect your whole field from targeting and destruction by card effect too, which is really, really nice. Onto the links, 3 copies of Galaxy Eye Soul Flare Dragon. Could you play Hippo Shinogen? Yes. I just find it not worth it to play Hippo Shinogen most of the time. I would just, in most cases, rather have that 3rd copy of Soul Flare to go into to add back more resources from the grave, and to be able to provide that disruption during my opponent's turn. The only time Hippo Shinogen really comes in clutch is against Sky Striker, because Shizuku is a huge pain in the ass for this deck. Because in order to go into Soul Flare, you need to have 2 light monsters, and 1 has to be at least 2000 or more attack. And obviously Shizuku does a great job at decreasing your monster's attacks, allowing you to not even go into this card in the first place, where Hippo Shinogen only takes just 2 light monsters, giving you those 2 arrows. So that is an option, but it's just, I would just rather play the triple Soul Flare. It's really only something you're going to have to deal with against Striker, which is just like, Striker is just going to be a hard matchup regardless whether you're playing Hippo Shinogen or not. Don't think that playing it's going to win you the Striker matchup, because in most cases it's probably not going to. And then the last Xyz monster we play, or a Link monster we play, is one Boral Sword Dragon. This could be Avermax, this could be Boral Load. I just love Boral Sword Dragon because turn 3 you can just go into this with Soul Flare and any other monsters and just go for a game very easily. So that's it for the extra deck. That's it for the main deck. Changes I made this time around was going to a 44 card build and finding space for triple Called By and triple Effect Veiler, and also trying to make the build a bit more competitive, I guess, in quotes competitive. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. I'm enjoying the deck. I've always have enjoyed it. Photon, very, very strong deck, very underestimated, probably tier 2 deck. Very, very fun to play. Not that expensive to pick up. I think Orbital is still pretty pricey. Maybe some other select cards in there as well. I'm not too sure the exact prices at this moment. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to drop me a like, leave me a comment down in the comment section down below. Follow me on social medias, join the Discord, follow me on Twitch if you haven't already to see me test decks like these live on my live stream every Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Would be greatly appreciated if you guys toss a follow there. And yeah, as always, Winter Kill signing out. We'll see you guys in the next one.